Required reading number 2. What happens to the body in space? The combination of radiation, microgravity, isolation from loved ones, and a diet consisting of freeze dried food is far from optimal for sustaining human life. Spaceflight is an extreme environment and causes many negative health adaptations to the human body, says Colleen Dean from University of Exeter. Some of the changes caused by spaceflight, such as loss of muscle mass, can be the equivalent of aging over 40 years in a year-long spaceflight. For over a decade, NASA's Human Research Program has investigated how space travel impacts the human body. It is suggested that time in space causes changes in the human body that can linger for months or longer after we return. Findings such as these will be vital if astronauts are to safely complete the estimated 3-year trip to planet D. The nervous system, eyes, and the brain. In space, fluids tend to shift in the body, accumulating in the upper part, the torso and head. Dr. Andrea Font, a lecturer at the Astrophysics Research Institute. The effects on brain structure and functioning are the most challenging. It is believed that these problems may be related to the increasing intracranial pressure that's inside your brain due to accumulated spinal fluid in the brain. MRI scans of long-term astronauts have shown an increased volume of cerebral spinal fluid in the cavity that holds the eye and the parts of the brain where fluid is produced. The eye may be acting as a valve for getting rid of this pressure. Rubber vacuum pants created by Russian scientists, which suck fluids downward into the feet, could help astronauts with vision problems, she added. Blood and the heart. On Earth, the cardiovascular system must work against gravity to pump blood around the body. In a microgravity environment, the right and left ventricles of the heart decrease in mass. The heart rate, blood pressure, and the amount of blood the organ pumps out per minute are also all lower. Tests on ISS crew members revealed that their standing heart rate was similar to the heart rate when lying down on Earth. And there's more information about the heart below in a different resource. The musculoskeletal system. Two of the major health challenges facing current spaceflight missions and further explorations, for example, missions to Planet D, are the negative adaptations of skeletal muscle impairment. Due to microgravity, our bones and muscles don't work as hard as on the home planet. Evidence suggests that bone density drops by around 1% per month of spaceflight. And here's a link to more about bone loss in space. And here is an information from NASA about muscle loss. Living and working in space is mentally strenuous, but the absence of gravity makes working in a spacecraft physically undemanding. On Earth, we must constantly use certain muscles to support ourselves against the force of gravity. These muscles, commonly called anti-gravity muscles, include calf muscles, the quadriceps, and the muscles of the back and the neck. Because astronauts work in a weightless environment, very little muscle contraction is needed to support their bodies or move around. Without regular use and exercise, our muscles weaken and deteriorate. It's a process called atrophy. Studies have shown that astronauts experience up to a 20% loss in muscle mass on space flights lasting 5 to 11 days. Here's an article for learning more about the heart in space. If you're using this information, use this citation. How the blood pumping organ changes in microgravity. The heart actually changes shape after being in microgravity for a long time. On Earth, the heart hangs in the chest and takes a somewhat oblong shape because it's constantly pulled down by gravity. But in space, that gravity is effectively gone and the heart adjusts. It no longer hangs there.